I really want y'all to take the time to understand that you need you more than anybody else could possibly need you. Because if you lose yourself, you wouldn't even be in the position to be there for anybody else. Always make sure to pour in yourself before pouring into anybody else. And I feel like in life, we often get so caught up in trying to do for others, trying to be there for our friends, or trying to make the most out of the relationships that we may be in. And we always end up selling ourselves short. We always end up feeling lost and confused. And this is simply because we put too much stock into everyone else and less into ourselves. And the key to overcoming this is just understanding balance. Understanding that, hey, it's okay to pour into the people that you love, but you also need to be watering your grass. You also need to be building yourself up and making sure you're in the right headspace so that people can get the best version of you possible. Just like anything else in life, in order for you to operate at your full potential, you need to be serviced, you need to be maintained periodically. And what this does for you is it allows you to take some time to recalibrate and to get yourself in the right headspace so that you can continue to progress and move forward. But if we continuously pour into other people, we're eventually going to reach this point where we feel drained, or we're eventually going to reach this point where we have nothing else to give or nothing else to pour. This is why a lot of people's relationships may end bad, friendships. It's all because we lack balance. And this also ties into self-love, because once you love yourself, you're going to do everything possible to make sure you're conscious enough to know what's going on around you. Somebody who takes the time to read each day understands that they need to pour into themselves. They need to be continuously growing mentally to be able to see these things transcend into their reality. If you're not doing the things on a daily basis to make your life better, all you're doing is decreasing in value in a sense, because growth isn't something that stays stagnant. Either you're growing or you're declining. There's no in between. There's no period where you could just take time off and not work on yourself and just automatically assume that you're going to be in that same position as you were previously. If you're not taking the time to do what's necessary in order to improve your life, whether you realize it or not, you're declining. And one thing that I really had to learn the hard way is the fact that you don't always need somebody else to pour into you. You don't always need somebody else by your side to validate the things that you want to do or to validate your feelings. This is the time for you to learn how to water yourself. This is the time for you to take everything that you've learned this far and apply it. This is the time to take everything that you may have went through in your life, all the times that you may have poured into other people, and learn what pouring into yourself means. Understanding that, me pouring into myself may mean waking up and going to the gym, but for you, it may mean spending hours a day reading and learning something in order to grow mentally. So we're all different, and that's just something that you have to take into account when you're trying to build yourself up. And a common misconception about pouring into other people is the fact that initially when you pour into somebody, when somebody realizes that you're giving or you're doing things from the kindness of your heart, this kindness can often be mistaken as a weakness. And it's not a form of weakness, it just means that that person's genuine enough to understand that, hey, I want to water this person, I want to see this person expand mentally, so I'm going to do what's necessary in order to see that happen. And that's another reason why we have to pour into ourselves. That's another reason why we have to allow ourselves to grow, because we can't constantly continue to water everyone else's grass while our grass is dying. We can't constantly continue to be there for everybody else when we need ourselves the most. Because if we lose ourselves, like I said previously, then we're not even going to have the chance to be there for the people that we may love. So taking some time to really dig deep and work on yourself, even if you are somebody like me who doesn't necessarily like being, the main character, understanding that this is your life, and in a sense you are the main character. You're the main character in your own life, and this is how it should be, because you should love yourself the most. You should be there for yourself the most. You should depend and rely on yourself more than anyone else to build yourself up. But one of my biggest flaws was just people pleasing, because I always wanted to get the best out of the next person. I always wanted to please somebody, even if we didn't have any chemistry or history. And what this did to me is it put me in a position where I realized that, I just couldn't please everybody. And the reactions that I would get from failing to please people would always hit me different. It would always hit me in ways that would make me feel like I wasn't capable of doing the things that I told myself I would want to do. But then I had to stop and realize that, people are different. Opinions are subjective, and I simply cannot go around this world trying to please everybody that I run into. Even if that's family, that's friends, relationships, you need to do the best that you can do and be content and okay with everything that you have going on enough to where it doesn't matter how people react to what you have going on. You put out your best work, and that's just what it's going to be. You put in the effort to see the results that you want to see. And if a person doesn't like, the work that you may have put in, then it just does not matter. You got to learn your flaws. You got to learn your strengths and your weaknesses, because this helps you better understand what you're capable of. But if you're inexperienced and you're just going around here trying to fill up everyone else's glass, then you're going to reach a point where you look back at yourself and your glass is going to be empty, and you're not going to have any more left to give. And you're probably not going to have the strength to persist and continuously pursue whatever it is that you want to pursue in your life. So really just take some time and reflect on all of your past friendships, whether that's with, family, relationships, whatever the case may be. And just ask yourself if you've been pouring into everyone else more than you've been pouring into yourself. And I want you to give yourself that same amount of energy, that same amount of effort that you've been trying to put into everyone else, and watch how your life changes. Once you turn around and you give yourself all the love that you've been trying to put out into other people, all the energy, all the money that you may spend on other people, to invest in yourself, to invest in your vision and what you want to do with your life, everything around you will change. There's nothing wrong with being selfish at times. There's nothing wrong with pouring into yourself more than you may want to pour into others. Because one thing that I know for sure is that as long as you're walking here on this earth, you're responsible for you. So in the simplest terms, you're a great investment. Invest everything that you may want to invest in yourself to get yourself to that next level. But you need you. Yes, it's okay to be there for the people that love you, but you have to always be there for yourself first, because that's what makes it possible for you to be there for everyone else. That's what makes it possible for people to be able to call you and be like, hey, I need to talk to you about something, and you be there for them. And one thing that I know for sure is that you'll never regret working on yourself. You'll never regret taking that time off to build and to push yourself to get to that next level. But one thing you will regret is putting all this energy and effort into everyone else and then looking back and realizing that, man, this entire time I didn't even work on myself. This entire time I've been invested in everyone else's vision, and now my dreams and hope for the future, they didn't died out because now I don't have any more time. You don't want to get to that point where you feel like you've ran out of time. You don't want to get to that point where you feel like you've wasted so much energy on everyone else and you're drained and you don't even have the energy to pursue what you want to pursue in your life. So really just take the time to work on yourself. Take the time to build yourself up and make yourself into the person that you want to be. Because I promise you, nobody else is going to do it how you could do it for yourself. Nobody else is going to be there for you how you want them to be there, how you need to be there for yourself. So just continue to strive to become the best version of yourself and keep pushing forward. But if you made it to the end of the video, I appreciate you so much. It's your boy Blue Jay Tay. Drop a like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.